Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Bright Spots. I'm Lori Labishak, your happiness ambassador, and I am so glad that you are here. Please be sure and let us know that you're tuning in. Drop us a message down below, say hello, ask our guest any questions that you would like, or just make a comment. Let us know if this is your first time tuning in or if you've been here before. I hope that you are having a fabulous week. Boy, a lot's going on this week, right? Kids are back in school, both on both sides of the river, and lots is happening, right? I'd love to hear what's going on in your world. How are you navigating this new normal that we're all living in right now? And are you getting used to wearing the masks? I know we talk about the masks almost every week because it's just part of what we do, right? It's just part of what we're doing today. I am so glad that you are here. I've got a great show planned for you, a wonderful guest. Well, hello, Kelly Bow. Good to see you. So glad that you are tuning in. So this evening's guest, if you've looked at the website, you know is from Visiting Angels, Melissa Evick. And we're going to talk a little bit about how they are navigating through the pandemic with taking care of the elders in our community. But before we get to that, I want to do a shout out to Wendy Anderson at the Chamber of Commerce in St. Clairsville. They announced today this event, Better Together. It is a women's online happy hour that's going to start in September. Every Thursday in September, I believe it's 5 o'clock or 4:30. Okay, 4:30. And it's just getting together and lifting each other up. And there's some great speakers, a different speaker each week for the 4 weeks in September. And I really think this is going to be a great program. So I encourage you to check it out. I will put the link to register in the comments below so that those of you that are interested can register. It's $25 for the 4 sessions. So for $25, you get to attend all 4 sessions, and it is limited to 25 women. So if you are interested in doing that, and they are donating the proceeds to, I know I'm not going to get this right, but I think it's a women's shelter. So I believe I heard Sherry Dunleavy say, we are women and we are givers. So that's why they're doing this. So please be sure and check that out if you would like to be a part of Better Together, some women coming together to lift each other up, because we've got to do that, guys, right? We've got to lift each other up. So our guest this evening is Melissa Evick. She is an account executive with Visiting Angels. She comes to us with over a decade in the elder law arena. Melissa's role with Visiting Angels is to build and develop relationships with our local community partners, businesses, care providers, and hospitals in West Virginia and the Pittsburgh area. So please, let's give a Bright Spots welcome to Melissa Evick. Welcome, Melissa.
Hello.
So
Hello.
good to have you. And so tell us a little bit about you. There may be people watching who do not know you. Tell us, who exactly is Melissa Evick?
So my name is Melissa. I live in Wheeling. I'm married. My husband's name is Tim. We have 2 grown children who are both married, and we have 3 grandchildren. So no pets. We're pretty quiet people, so it's a little different. Our grandchildren are actually in Wisconsin and Alabama, so right now it's a hard time since we're not able to visit and see everyone. But this past about in July, we actually had our son's wedding here because we wanted to make for certain the people that were able to be here could be here. And with all the changes with the pandemic and everything that was going on during the time, we made a small, intimate, just immediate family, and it was absolutely beautiful. So pretty much that's all we've got.
Okay, well, I feel your pain with grandchildren away from you. I have a granddaughter in Las Vegas, and
Oh,
it is hard having them so far away, isn't it? But I'm so thankful for technology.
yes. Yes, we FaceTime, we have virtual meetings, they call, we get on, we're able to play games, we interact. Um, Echo Show is phenomenal. We have so much fun doing those things. Lori, I think you froze. I do understand that you're having another grandchild soon, which is wonderful. Congratulations. Laurie? I think we may have lost her for a little while. So hopefully she pops back in soon. But we actually were going to talk a little bit about visiting angels and what we do. We are an essential home care provider. We help families with their loved ones, their seniors, as they age, whether it's at home, in a facility, whether that's a skilled facility, assisted living, or independent. We help them better their lives and be able to live as independently as possible. We help them with their day-to-day activities, and make for certain that they're well taken care of and that they have someone there with them. A lot of times that just includes companionship, going to the doctors, preparing a meal, medication reminders, things of that nature.
Don't give up on me. I'm back.
Yay!
I'm not sure exactly what had happened, but we had a little bit of technical difficulty. Forgive me for that. But you did great. I was listening to you and you did just fine. I could hear you, but I couldn't get back on. All
That's
right.
okay.
Yay. Okay. So, folks, you have heard a little bit from Melissa and you've heard about her, what she does with visiting angels, and we haven't gotten too far down the pike here. So, Melissa, one of the questions that I like to ask folks is, how has the pandemic changed you, if it has, and how have you done through the stay-at-home order?
So when it first happened, we actually, our owners decided that we were going to stay home for about 3 weeks. We were home. And I will tell you, it was the hardest 3 weeks I've ever worked in my life. I am not the kind of person that's just comfortable being home. And it really was difficult. But during that time, we decided we're already kind of ahead of the curve because we already use a lot of virtual training as well as options. So we have virtual meetings all the time. So we just started doing more virtual meetings with our partners, with our caregivers, with everyone around. We did YouTube videos. We did our Facebook, we did our LinkedIn. We're reaching out every way that we possibly could. We wanted to make for certain emails that our partners, as well as our caregivers, our clients, their families knew that we were here and that we were going to be here and that we were going to help them through this. So we basically just jumped full in. Our CEO and COO started a COVID pandemic whole process. And our owner, one is Les DeFelice, and he actually started doing YouTube videos to our caregivers and to our partners to make them know we're here and to make for certain that our caregivers were aware that we're always going to be here for them and they can reach out to us at any time. And they basically have, and it's been, honestly, it's been wonderful. So it's great to know that I work for a company that has the ability to do that and realizes that without our caregivers, we don't exist. And they make everything possible for us. And we're fortunate enough to have some of the very best out there.
Okay, so now we've lost Melissa. So let me get you back, Miss Melissa. Okay. Goodness. All right. So a little bit of background here. So I typically broadcast from my office, and I'm off site tonight and using a different computer, and the internet is doing crazy things. So I'm going to blame it on that anyways. And I switched to my iPad from the computer. For some reason, the computer's not picking up the internet. I'm not sure what is happening. So, but there's two ways to skin a cat, I always say, right? So
Absolutely.
we will figure this out. So, okay, so Melissa, so what has been the toughest thing for you personally and professionally during the pandemic? What has really given you pause?
So personally, I will have to say is hugging. I'm a big hugger. So for me, that was a big deal. Making for certain the 6 foot space, wearing our face coverings. We have everything from homemade to hospital to the N95. We have all of those. So one, getting used to wearing those all the time, making for certain that we're respectful of the distance that needs to happen and not invading someone's 6 foot space, as well as marketing. When the states closed down, each state was a little different. So I go from Ohio to West Virginia to Pennsylvania. I have to be aware of just not the state, but the county and the facility or the hospital, what their guidelines are going to be. So I have to make for certain, and I had to make for certain that I was following all of those rules. So it made it a little difficult for us to market in the normal way where we would walk in, we would see our discharge planners, we see our physicians, we would see our wealth advisors or our senior centers. That's not happening. Going into a skilled facility wasn't going to happen the way it did previously, or sitting down with a social worker. So we had to be more inventive, whether it was a virtual meeting, it was a text message, it was an outside meeting, or even going and doing window visits, because we were doing window visits, and I still do, because sometimes we're the only people some of them are seeing, especially if it's in certain facilities that they don't have a loved one. They have their staff, and the staff's been great with them, but they still need a little more interaction. So we've been doing a lot of things like that and making for certain that where we're able to get into, because we're very fortunate, many of our caregivers are allowed access into many of the facilities across the state lines, because we basically put in a plan of action. We added it. We made for certain that all the COVID training and everything that needed to be done for our caregivers was there, as well as from the very beginning, we've been giving temperatures every single day to our COO. We email them every morning, and rain or shine, it doesn't really matter. You need to send it in, and we have to follow the guidelines and make for certain we're all up to par and following everything we need to. So that's what we've been doing. And it's difficult because we'll get a call from someone who wants to meet, and you kind of say, okay, how would you like to meet? Do you want to do a virtual meeting, or do you want to do a phone? Do you want to meet out in the parking lot? Do you want to have a lunch and sit apart, or what's good for you? Or am I allowed in your facility? And if they tell us we're allowed into the facility, then we're there. Absolutely.
So tell us so that people know, what exactly does Visiting Angels do? What are the services that Visiting Angels provides? And then we'll
Okay.
talk a little bit about the people that you provide those services
Okay.
for.
So, Visiting Angels is an essential home care provider. We are not home health, we're essential home care. So, we are a private pay where we come into your home, wherever that may be, whether that's again a facility or your own home. We are able to give and provide services as to for care of bedbound clients, meal prep, hydration, hygiene assistance, toiletry, bathing, medication reminders, bringing food into the home, picking up prescriptions, ambulation, cooking a meal, you know, and any light housekeeping that is part of your essential care or needs, we can help with that as well. And we just basically sometimes are there as companionship as well, because during the pandemic, many of our families who were in lockdown had a loved one with them. And now that they're going back into the world working, they're realizing that their loved one needs care or at least needs someone with them. So we're very fortunate that we've been able to do that and help a lot of families with that. And it, it's really changing every day because we're seeing all the changes that are happening, and you never know when something will close again. So we just want to make for certain that we're ready and able to help whomever.
So let's talk about the elders who are in their homes that you already had established prior
Mhm.
to the pandemic. What did you think was the hardest thing for them and for those providing care to them? And was that care interrupted at all by the pandemic? How did you continue doing business?
So for us, there was some interruption, some places, because a lot of people went home or their children came home and started working at home. So they brought their loved one into their home. And now we're back into several of those homes. And some of them, it never stopped. Not at all, because they realized that we were going to supply all of our caregivers with all the PPE that they would need. And that was probably one of the hardest things was for our caregivers to realize that, besides when you have to wear gloves or a mask, you have to wear it now all the time. So those were a little bit different things that were needed, and making the families aware as well as our clients aware that we're doing everything possible to keep their loved one or themselves safe and secure, and our caregivers safe and secure. So those were the things that really were the changes that came about from this for us.
So, folks, if you're just tuning in, you are tuning into Bright Spots, a weekly show that highlights individuals and organizations that are shining a light in our community and around the world. Our guest this evening is Melissa Evick of Visiting Angels out of Wheeling, West Virginia. But Visiting Angels is a national company, is that
Yes.
correct? So,
Yes.
can you tell us the history behind Visiting
Sure.
Angels? I know you're a salesperson for them, so I bet you have an elevator speech for us. So
Of
give us the
course.
nuts and bolts. How did it start? What's the passion, the mission behind it?
So basically, Visiting Angels started 22 years ago in Philadelphia. And actually, one of the founders is still our CEO nationally for our company, and that is Lawrence Miggs. Our local Visiting Angels actually started in 2009 by Les DeFelice. He owned DeFelice Care, which was an oxygen company. And during that time, he saw the trends were changing where payees and payers were going to change. And he realized that he wanted to be in a different business. So doing the business that he was in, oxygen, going into homes, seeing clients, seeing things like that, he was seeing people who needed additional assistance in the home. So of course, if anyone knows Les, you know that he's gonna research everything 1,000% and make for certain he does the very best. So what he did was found out about Visiting Angels, and in 2009 he started buying as many franchises as he possibly could. And here we are today, covering from Ohio to Pennsylvania and all the way down to Charleston. And that's where we basically came from. And Visiting Angels goals are basically, it's pretty simple. We're going to keep you or your loved one safe and secure in their home, no matter where it is, and give them peace of mind and let them enjoy their life as best as possible.
That's fabulous. And of course, those of you that know me out there, you know that I grew up in the elder care industry. So, organizations who care for our elders in the community and in nursing homes are very near and dear to my heart. So, thank you for what you do. And thank you to Lesty Felice for his vision and forethought to start this in the local area and for all that you do. That's just fabulous. So, how do you think the pandemic is going to change the way home care services are delivered moving forward?
Well, I truly believe this is going to continue the way it is. We're going to see changes, and it's going to change daily, it's going to change weekly. Everybody's going to change, and we're going to have to be more aware of using virtual options. We're very fortunate at Visiting Angels that we actually partnered with Constant Companion, a company that actually is a military engraded encrypted Alexa that we use in our clients' homes. And when the pandemic started, the owner of Constant Companion came to us. We decided that we were going to put an Echo Show in every client's home that had an Alexa. So when telehealth and people were calling their doctors and they were trying to get in, but they didn't want to leave their home, but they wanted to show the doctor what was going on, they had an Echo Show. So we were able to help get our clients ahead of the curve. We train our clients, we train our caregivers, and all of our staff to be able to do that. So we're helping our families during the pandemic not be isolated, as well as being able to reach out to their loved ones. And with Constant Companion, it's 24/7 answers. So many people wear a life alert or another kind of alert system, but they take it off if they go into the bathroom or into the shower and they have an accident. It didn't help them. But with an Alexa, it's your voice. You call for help. Alexa, call for help. And it immediately calls and it's answered by a live person 24/7, 365 days a year, just like our shifts are covered. So it's pretty amazing to see that we're able to help during all of this, and we'll be continuing to grow that way, because we have to make for certain that during this time that we're there for our clients and our caregivers, and they know that our constant contact will not stop.
So, Melissa, if someone is interested and they're watching the broadcast this
Mhm.
evening or later on the replay, and they're interested in learning more about your services, is there a website or a phone number that they can call?
Yes, we actually have multiple phone numbers because we have different areas. We have our Charleston. They can actually just go to visitingangels.com. And when that screen comes up, you can put in the zip code of your town, and it'll actually pull you to the Visiting Angels office that services your area. And since we are a national company, we have over 600 franchises across the United States. So you're able to do it that way. Or if you're looking for our local one, it's our visitingangels.com/Upper Ohio Valley. And that'll take you directly to our local one here in Wheeling, which covers Belmont County, Jefferson, and all around the local area. And the direct line there is 304-214-5550. And then, of course, we have our Morgantown, Pittsburgh, Charleston.
Okay. So, if I am sitting at home and I'm an elder and I've had surgery, so now I need some help in the house, light housekeeping, that sort of thing, and I have a pet. Is that something your caregivers would do? Is come and take care of my little dog Fluffy?
Yes, we do. We do take care of your pet. We have many clients that the pets look forward to seeing our caregivers. They're very used to knowing that they're going to be the one giving them their treats. And it's kind of sweet. It's very, very sweet. But we do take care of our clients. We do pet care with them. Um, we don't just pet care, but we do go into the client's home. If they need assistance with that, we definitely take care of that. And we're actually a very pet friendly office. Our Pittsburgh office, Henry comes to work every day. He's our director there, Tiffany's puppy, and he's absolutely adorable. We love him. And then in our Wheeling office, Mina comes to work almost daily. So we're very pet friendly, very, very pet friendly.
That's good to know. So, what do you think is the biggest challenge as we begin to get back to normal life, both professionally and personally? What do you think is going to be the hardest or the biggest challenge for all of us?
I think accepting that there's never going to be a normal the way it was. I think things are going to stay different, and that's not always a bad thing. We just have to be aware, and we have to be considerate and conscious that it's going to change. And just because it's happening today doesn't mean it's going to be okay tomorrow. So we just kind of have to roll with it, and we have to be aware that with all the technology that we have out there, we have to learn and we have to do better. And we have to train and we have to make for certain we're aware of how to use it so that we can help the people who need our assistance, especially our senior population. We want to make for certain that we're giving them the very best. And sometimes they're a little hesitant to try certain things out. But our clients who are using their Alexa, they can't imagine not having it because they talk to it like it's their best friend. And it's encrypted so that nobody can ever use it or take it or do anything else with it. So it's kind of great to see during this time that they're still having someone to talk to. They're not just sitting in their home. They're getting the fact of the day, the news. So it's a lot of fun. But when things are continually opening up, we still have to just we have to follow the rules. We have to follow the guidelines, whether we like it or not. They're there for a reason. And the industry that I'm in, we are definitely conscious that we make for certain that we follow all of those guidelines so that we're not putting our clients in any jeopardy.
So, with the Alexa,
Mm-hmm.
can I have that tool without having a caregiver coming in if I
You
just
can,
feel I need that?
you can, you
And
can.
what is
Yeah.
is there a cost for that, or is that covered by insurance?
There is a cost for that. Unless you hire us and we're in your home, then it's free. So if you
Okay.
just did it separately, there would be a cost.
Okay.
And but the thing we like the best about it is that it comes with its own Wi-Fi hotspot.
Hmm.
So you don't have to worry about somebody hopping on that's sitting outside your house, and none of your financial information or real personal information's in there. So you don't have to worry about them getting your Amazon account.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Good deal. Good
Yes.
deal. So, folks, if you're just tuning in, this is Bright Spots, and our guest this evening is Melissa Evick of Visiting Angels. My mind just went totally blank there. Out of Wheeling. And she's been sharing with us how the elders that they care for have been navigating through, as well as their caregivers who provide care to those elders in their homes and in facilities are also navigating through the pandemic. We're going to take a quick break and let Melissa catch her breath. And we are going to talk a little bit about upcoming shows that are happening on Bright Spots. So, I would like you to know that next week I am taking a vacation day. So I will not be on my Bright Spots show next Wednesday, but I will return on September the 2nd. So these are our upcoming guests. We have Timothy Jarvis of Jarvis Law, September the 2nd. Paul Zuros, September 16th from the historic Fort Steuben. And Holly Lewis will be here on September 23rd. She is a veteran, a life coach, and an improvement expert. And I'm really so excited about Holly coming on as a guest. I think you're going to love her. She's got some great ideas and some great things to tell us about how to improve our life and live a happy, healthy, wonderful life. So I hope that you will plan on joining me for those upcoming shows. and I'm going to figure out how to get my sweet Miss, there she is, Miss Melissa,
Hello.
back on the screen. Yeah, so I'm actually learning something this evening, how to broadcast from my iPad. So
There you go.
this is a learning show for me this evening. So Melissa, we've talked a lot about you and your work. What's your favorite part about your job?
Sharing what we do, realizing for me personally the difference between essential home care and home health, and seeing that we're able to go out and see some of the clients, because I interact with them besides just our referral partners, as well as seeing our caregivers. I meet our caregivers all the time. So I may be out somewhere and have Visiting Angel logo on or something, and they'll say, "Oh, I work there." And I'm like, "Oh, you do?" They're like, "Yeah, I'm one of your caregivers." It's so exciting to see how excited they are. And especially when one of our caregivers gets to go back into a home, say their client had been in the hospital and they're coming home, they're so excited. So excited. It's so heartwarming, and it's so great to hear how happy they are and how invested they are in their client. And it really takes on a life of its own. So to see them that way is amazing. And then to be able to sit down with our referral partners and show them, look, we're going to help with your readmissions. We're going to help make for certain that they're safe at home so they don't have that fall. And it's really helped our partners, as well as making for certain that they know that they don't have to worry about the person they just discharged. So it's great to see. I can't hear you.
How about that?
Yay.
So if folks, if you have questions about Visiting Angels or the services they provide, please drop a comment below, or you can reach out to Melissa through the website. You can reach out to Visiting Angels, and that website again, Melissa, is
visitingangels.com. And if it's for the Ohio Valley, it's / Upper Ohio Valley, or you can call directly at 304-214-5550.
And is Visiting Angels a not for profit, or is it a for profit entity?
It is a for profit.
And
Yes.
so, how many employees do you have?
We have caregivers, we have over 200
Okay.
caregivers, and we have 20 administrative staff between our 3 offices. So we are hiring every single day for mature, seasoned caregivers. We have so many amazing caregivers that come in, and then they mentor and they bring so much to our team. And it's great to see, because again, we are 24/7, 365 days a year. So we want to make for certain that we always have several caregivers, so that we never have to say anything to anybody and let them know that we're not going to be able to fill a shift. We never ever have to say that. And we are in the top 1% of all of our Visiting Angels, and that's all 3 of our offices, as well as the top 1% nationally. So we're very proud of that, and we work very hard to keep it that way.
Awesome. And Jessica Kelly has tuned in, and she is saying that she just loves listening and watching you talk about what you do. You can tell how
Thank you.
much you love it. Your passion really does show through. And
Thank you.
having worked with you in a former life,
Yes.
I do know that your passion for elders and my passion for elders put together, I think we could start a fire. So,
Yes.
it's great to have like minds out there in the world and really advocating for our elders.
Yes.
So Melissa, tell me about the typical day for one of your caregivers. What does that look like?
Well, first thing is a email in of your temperature to make for certain that you can go to work, as well as once you arrive at your client's home, that you actually check in either by the client's phone, or check in that way so that we know the shift is being covered. And there in the home, we have a book that basically is left in the home for the caregiver, as well as the client and the family, to see that the caregiver has done everything that we are supposed to be doing in the home. So they check off everything that they're doing and make for certain. They also put in their notes if there's anything going on or something that they need to do or they've noticed any changes. We also, our computer format that we use is ClearCare. Forgot it there for a second. And that's an electronic where they go in and they're able to put care notes or any changes that they see in the behavior, or if they notice that their client is not eating like they should, they're able to monitor that, and we can then alert the family or the next of kin, or even if we're whoever we need to, we can let them know, hey, your mom seems a little off. Something's going on. We think you might need to check in. Let's have a conversation. So we also reach out to the physicians. We do a physician letter to let them know that we're taking on one of their patients as one of our clients once they're discharged from a hospital or a skilled facility. So our caregiver does everything they're supposed to. They then clock out the exact same way by a phone call from the home to make for certain. And if there's another caregiver coming in or once that shift's done, that's how they end their day.
Okay, and the answer I was looking for is there really is no typical day.
well, they have guidelines. They have things to follow. So,
Yeah,
but it does change. And then honestly, we have a lot of dementia clients, Alzheimer's and
sure.
Parkinson's and things like that. So you never know. And it kind of matters on what time of day you're with them.
Right?
So
Yeah.
it is. It is. It's fun.
All right. So we have a question from Trudy Rhodes.
Mhm.
Oh, she is asking, are you planning to be at our coalition meeting tomorrow at prime time?
Yes, ma'am. I do plan on attending.
All right. And then she would like you to send information to her or bring it with you tomorrow.
Yes,
Because she may be able to identify some seniors. So do you
absolutely.
come up to the Jefferson County
Yes.
area?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. We have plenty of clients. And actually, I've done several in services and presentations at prime time. And we've talked about constant companion so that they understood that, as well as essential home care and the difference between that and home health or VNA visiting nurses and things like that. So yeah, and actually my stuff's there. It's in the little spinny thing, but I will bring her a whole bunch of goodies tomorrow. I promise.
And she says, yay, thanks.
You are welcome.
All right. Another person who is an advocate for our elders in the community is
Yes.
Rudy
Yes.
Wilson from up at Primetime Senior Services. So,
And it's amazing there.
yes,
Prime time
and
it's great.
Primetime is excited to reopen, and we will have Trudy on as a guest when we get close to getting reopened as soon as the state gives us the okay. And Primetime is actually using this time to do some renovations that need done. So when we do have our seniors back, it's going to look a little different and it's going to get a little bit of a facelift. So I know that Trudy is planning a big celebration when the time comes to reopen. So hopefully you'll be able to join us for that, Melissa, and
Absolutely.
bring some of your information. So it has been a lovely evening speaking with you. What have we forgotten to talk about? Is there anything else that you want people to know about Visiting Angels or about Melissa?
Any questions, anything that they have at any time, we're more than happy to answer. And someone will answer your call without a doubt. If it's not me personally, it's one of our office staff. They will definitely answer the call. They'll either get the information to you directly or they'll reach out to me and we can meet however it's most convenient for you, whether it's virtually or you just need some information or just conversation. I'd be happy to do that anywhere at any time because I just want to make for certain that everybody knows that we're here to help our senior population age gracefully in whatever home or wherever they are or what they consider their home.
One question I think that might come up is there an age requirement?
Most of our clients are in their 60s and above, But we have other clients who are younger because we do have clients who have Parkinson's, who have ALS. We work with the ALS group. They have grants that actually pay for our services. And a lot of people don't realize that it's private pay. It can be done by long-term care insurance. A lot of long-term care insurance covers that as well. Veterans aid and attendance benefits pay for our services as well. And we're basically here to help. And if we're not able to help you, we're going to try and find someone who can. You might not need everything that we do. You may need just, perfect example, Meals on Wheels. Prime Time does that in Jefferson County. In Ohio County, Family Services does that. And we're more than happy to share that information because we want to be a resource for whether you become a client or not. We want to make for certain that we're just not hanging up the phone saying, sorry, we can't help you, because that's not what this is about. It's about giving the very best we can.
I would imagine in some instances you pick up where home health leaves off. So
Yes.
a lot of insurances only pay for home health for a certain period of time. And as elders improve enough to no longer need those medical services, but they still need a little bit of help with light housekeeping or meal preparation. And that's where your caregivers would kind of close
Yes.
that gap.
Yes, absolutely. And it also, we have many that come out of rehab that they had knees or a hip replaced, and they just need a little bit of help once they're home because they're done with their therapy. They don't need any more therapy. They just need some assistance in the house or somebody to go pick up the groceries for them or pick up their prescriptions or things like that. That's what we're able to do for them. And sometimes they just, as they age, they've lost their significant other and they just want someone in the house with them. They just want a companion. And we're able to do that. We do that. Our clients have taken our caregivers with them on vacations. We've taken care of family members that they've come home with because they're only here for a month or something's going on. So they all came back home. And we actually go to where they are. We actually had in our Pittsburgh office where we actually were in a hotel taking care of a loved one of our clients that was from another state that had to come into Pittsburgh. And we were there for a week, pretty much in their hotel suite, taking care of their loved one. It's whatever's needed.
Oh, that's awesome. That is just awesome. So, folks, this is Melissa Evick of Visiting Angels out of Wheeling, and they serve both the Ohio side and the West Virginia side, home care services, non medical home care services. So, if you are interested, Melissa's going to give us the phone number one more time.
Sure. 304-214-5550.
All right. So you give Melissa a call or someone over at Visiting Angels, and I absolutely know that they're going to return the call and they're going to take care of your loved one. Melissa, thank you so much for being with us tonight. It has been a pleasure to see you, and I apologize for the little bit of technical snafus at the beginning. That's the joy of using technology these days, right?
Absolutely.
Just when I think I have it figured out, we something crazy happens,
Mm-hmm.
and that's okay. We made it work, and that's good. I have to say, you were a trooper. You just kept on talking, and that's great. That's
That's the
great.
marketing.
Right? Right. Well,
Yes.
thank you so much. I'm so glad that you were able to be here with me tonight. And folks, we're going to get ready to close out for the evening. I thank you so much for tuning in. If you are tuning in later, please be sure and drop us a line. Let us know you were here. Let us know what you thought of the show. And as always, if you have a suggestion for a guest for Bright Spots, please be sure and send me a private message and let me know. I'd be happy to reach out to them. This is Laurie Labishak, your happiness ambassador. And again, thank you, Melissa, for joining us. And thank you all for tuning in. God bless you. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Remember, I'm on vacation next week, but I will be back September the 2nd.